Hey guys, it's Mike, answering some of the questions that Zach has left in an episode of Zach Attacks. Without Zach. We're missing Zach, but we're still doing it. He sent in the questions, so I'm going to answer them. This is the Bond and Batman special Zach Attacks episode. Well, the first question from Zach is, how is it like to work around Bond and Batman? It's pretty hectic, especially scheduling-wise because we have so many actors, but it is fun nonetheless. Question 2 from Zach Delves is if Grant Weldon will ever return. He may, but he may not be his current self when he returns, because it was a scene we filmed back in sophomore year when we were filming Bond v Batman. So there is one scene remaining with Grant as of now, but we may get him for later purposes. And I know that kind of defeats the purpose of having it be Bond v Batman. But to be fair, when we started writing Bond v Batman, we initially intended for it to include me and Grant a lot more. Question 3 from Zach Delves is if there will be Bond v Batman Part 2 or Bond and Batman Part 3, whatever way you want to see it. I don't know on that one. The future is pretty unclear at this point. Right now, I think we're all just focused on making Bond v Batman 2. Well, Bond v Batman is 2. I think we're just focused on making Bond v Batman concluded. So there's currently, right now, there is looking like there's going to be 7 parts, but there might be more. It is entirely possible. Nothing is off the tables for Bond v Batman. Question 4 is if Bond v Batman is going to be continuing anytime soon.
Not really.
Yeah, we don't know. We
haven't decided.
Bond v Batman Part 3 was just... Bond v Batman Part 3 was just kind of, I wouldn't say filler because it was an idea that I had back when I was making Bond v Batman Part 1, Bond's Day Off. I felt like that'd always be fun to do. And we just kind of looked at our schedules and we were like, we have time to do it, so let's do it. Bond v Batman Part 4 has definitely been written. Some of it's been filmed. A lot of it has been compiled together. We have a basic idea at where the story is going to go in that direction. It's going to include a very strong backbone of social commentary narrative. It's almost going to play around with the presidential election in a way, in a mocking, parodical way, and it is going to include a lot of action, dialogue, characters. It's gonna be back to the roots. What Bond v Batman 3 was us trying to be unique and different and set it apart and tell a different story that was less composed and more fun and open-ended. And Bond v Batman 4 is returning to the original story and showing how Bond escapes from the Riddler at the end of Bond Part 2. It's showing... So it has some concluding narratives that will truly set the series up for Part 5. But we don't know when it's going to come out. Question 5 is what it's like to play Bond. It's really fun. It's kind of stressful at times because you can't... Obviously, my Bond is not up with Daniel Craig or anything where I had to run every day and do miles every day and, remain strict to one food diet. I don't take off my shirt as Bond or anything, so I don't have to do much. I'm more of a teenage James Bond where I kind of play around with my hair. I play around with, the ideas of Bond being lazy, it's a lot of fun sometimes, definitely, because I can really take James Bond and make him be my own character. Funny at times, dramatic at others, comical at others. He's a fantastic character that I've always been a fan of, and it's awesome playing him. I would love to play James Bond in actual cinema at some point in my life. I would love to even direct a James Bond movie. I've been a huge fan of James Bond since I was 6.
Yeah, we have all the movies, literally.
Maybe you'll see them someday.
You want to see our movie collection?
Not right now.
It's fucking huge.
On to question 6. How long did it take us to come up with the idea for Bond v Batman? The original. The original was really not supposed to be Bond v Batman at first. When we wrote it, it was the idea of making a comedy and an action and a drama at the same time. Originally, the narrative that we came up with that was not Bond v Batman included a guy beating another guy with a hammer. And then we decided to Hammer that down. Puns. So we came up with Bomb P Batman. It was for digital media and tech presentation class. It was really fun. We had 5 people on set. It's how 5 guys in a film class came to be. One of those guys is still remaining. No, I'm just kidding. We actually keep in contact with all 5 of the people. They're not as main in the company as they were back then, but they are still around and they're very present. And not in the day-to-day means, but definitely in the supportive means and helping us out whenever we need help means. They're awesome. Which leads us to question 7, which is, will they ever be in another film again? We don't know. We have not filmed anything with them, but I'd love to. I've actually played around with the idea of having them be in cameos and future stuff, including dun 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 announcement of Barking Dan's first movie, Infinite. I have a lot of open rules for Infinite, my first film that I'm trying to fill, and I've played around with the idea of asking them before. I might, and if they do, that'd be awesome. We've had cameos before, like with Josh and Timeline, Josh Kuiper. So I feel like the past is always running around us, and we're always open to play around with people from the past. So that's it.